Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us at our webinar today. My name is Eslyn Barnes, and I am an account manager at Amazon Web Services, looking after our non-profit customers across South Africa. With me, we have Kyrillos Akram, who is a solution architect, and he will be presenting in the second part of the presentation. Today, we're going to look at four main areas. So firstly, I will do an introduction to AWS for nonprofits. We will then cover the AWS programs and resources for NPOs. Then we will look at basic workloads on AWS and also look at where some of our customers have started their cloud journey with us. And then lastly, we will end by providing you with our contact information so that if you have specific projects that you would like to discuss with us, you can reach directly out to us. Now, within public sector at AWS, we service organizations of all sizes to build applications, host websites, harness big data, store information, conduct research, improve online access for citizens, and so much more. So we have four main areas in which we focus within public sector. So the first is health and life sciences. So here we also work with healthcare providers, healthcare payers, as well as pharma, biotech, and genomics organizations. In education, we work with academic institutions, edtech companies, as well as students. Then within government, we have national, regional, and local governments that we work with. And then lastly, within the NPO vertical, we focus on NPOs, NGOs, and tech companies servicing the nonprofits market. Now, if we look at why does cloud matter in public sector, and that is because at AWS, we ultimately want to make the world a better place through our cloud technology. And so we provide organizations like yourselves the cloud technology that can power up world-changing projects, contribute to economic and skills development, improve citizen services and engagement, and enable cutting-edge research and education. We currently have 6,500 government agencies, 11,000 academic institutions, and over 29,000 nonprofits across the world using AWS to help them achieve their missions. Now, this just gives you an overview of some of the NPOs that we're working with globally. And as you can see, it's such a diverse range of NPOs. So if you have a look at Just Giving, Global Giving, and Give and Gain, those are three of the largest cloud funding platforms within the social impact space that are hosted on AWS. We have organizations like the International Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and I'll actually dive into this a little bit later in the presentation. We will talk about how they actually use AWS within their organization. Then you also have museums like the Kenya Museum Society, who host their digital archive in our cloud, as well as the National Geographic Society, and we'll talk a little bit later about that as well. So it is a diverse range of NPOs that we work with, and there are case studies available on our website as well, so you can actually dive deep into some of these case studies. Now, in the old world, it would take weeks, sometimes even months, and sometimes even done, on an annual basis to procure the infrastructure that you need for some of these big projects. Whereas now with AWS, infrastructure can be adapted within minutes. So you can spin up and remove an environment within a matter of minutes and only pay for what you use. So it's really transformed IT's ability to support the organization's strategic and operational direction. So from the feedback that we get from our NPOs, they say that they are able to innovate faster, save time and money with AWS. And they are able to automate processes, democratize data access, configure alerts and notifications, and support their beneficiary success. Now here is the Gartner's Magic Quadrant. Gartner is an impartial third-party market research firm, and every year they do assessments looking at the various technology providers out there. And for 9 consecutive years, they have positioned AWS as the leader in cloud infrastructure as a service worldwide. And this is really based on our ability to execute and our vision and actually work towards that. The assessment evaluates players based on their products and services, their overall viability, pricing, market responsiveness, and track record, as well as customer experience and operations. So if we look at one of the reasons that makes AWS a little bit different, that we have over 175 services. So we are continually expanding our offerings to support any cloud workload. And customers can choose what is right for them and use as much or as little AWS products as needed. And most importantly, we offer a robust set of resources to help in the journey, such as professional services, your account management team, and support. So this slide over here gives you an overview of our global infrastructure footprint. To date, we have 24 regions, with 3 announced regions still coming on, 76 availability zones, and over 200 edge locations. And the way AWS defines a region is really a geographic area or a geographic location. And so to show you how we build out our regions, so as I mentioned, the region is a geographic location in the world. And each region comprises of 2 or more availability zones. Each availability zone has then at least 2 or more data centers in those availability zones. So they are physically isolated from the others, but they are connected by a fast, low latency network. So they have their own discrete, uninterruptible power supply, on-site backup generators, cooling equipment, networking and connectivity, and they are supplied by different grids from independent utility companies for power. So it's really built for that full redundancy and connectivity. Then within, we also have points of presence, which consists of our regional caches and edge locations. So this is basically a cloud delivery network. Within AWS, we have Amazon CloudFront, and we use the CloudFront to deliver content faster. Now, looking at what sets AWS apart. So we were started in 2006, and we have been building and managing cloud since then for over 13 years. So we really have the strong experience in running cloud. And as I showed you before, our service breadth and depth covers over 175 services. Our pace of innovation is really fast. So to date, we've launched over 4,600 customer service driven features. So when we innovate, about 90% of the services and the functionalities that we innovate come directly from our customers' feedback and their input. And then we leave about 10% to invent on behalf of our customers. So our global footprint is vast. We've got 24 regions, 76 availability zones, and over 200 edge locations. And then our pricing philosophy. So to date, we have proactively reduced our prices 80 times. So we're constantly looking at how do we save costs and how we can then pass on those economies of scale to our customers. From a partner perspective, within public sector, we have over 1,400 partners that can support you on any workload. So security is our highest priority. We now have 203 significant compliance, governance, and security certification. So you are actually welcome to go have a look at AWS artifacts. You can access that online. And that's where we host all of our certifications there. Some are freely available and some we share under NDA. But it's also important to note that, you know, customers, they retain complete control and ownership over the region in which their data is physically located, making it easier to meet with regional compliance and data residency requirements. And on this, and if for those of you who might not have heard, in April we launched a region here in Cape Town in South Africa, and that's our Africa region. So we are up and running in South Africa as well. Now, to quickly run through the programs and resources that you may find valuable as an MPO. So first of all, we've got ongoing webinars and online events. So much like the webinar we are hosting today, we have these webinars to keep you informed and educated of developments within AWS and how it can help you within your organization. We post these events on social media, and as an account manager working in this space, you will also receive this type of information and invites from myself, or if you are in a different country, another account manager. Then we have local and international conferences. So annually, we have a conference called the Imagine Conference that is usually held in the States. That conference usually brings together all of the MPOs from around the world to learn about technology advancement and how to apply it to the organization, and also to connect and learn with other MPOs across the world. Then we have the virtual MPO office hours. So these happen on a monthly basis. And this is if you'd like to start your journey with AWS, or even if you've started it, and you have specific technical questions that you need answers to, you can jump in with our MPO office hours and actually discuss your project with a team of solution architects that are there to guide you. Then we have the AWS training and certification. And here we have many routes to get the AWS training that you or even your team needs. We have online digital trainings. We also work with training service providers that deliver live or in-person trainings, usually not so much this year because of COVID, but we've got these partners that can also deliver training for you. We also have a wonderful platform called AWS Educate, where students and institutions and teachers, they can sign up for free. And when they get onto this platform, there are 11 cloud career pathways and learning plans that they can actually train themselves up on. And as part of that platform, you can also access credits to start experimenting and building projects in the cloud. Then you have your account management team. So in each country, there's an account manager and solution architects that are there to support you. As I mentioned, I look after the South Africa region, and then I also have a solution architect like Kirilos working closely with me. And together we will work on your projects and we will help guide you on your cloud journey. Now, if you'd like to sign up for an AWS account, you can do so within a matter of minutes. And we have a free tier of services. So this can allow you to really get a feel of the management console, and you can access some of our products and our services there for free. We then have the AWS NPO credits program, and I'm going to delve a little bit deeper into this on the next slide. Lastly, we have marketing and PR opportunities. So where we have customers that have, implemented AWS, they've had great successes, they were able to advance their mission, we often put it out to our customers to share their stories at our events or on our marketing platforms, which also gives them an opportunity to share their project with the wider industries and other stakeholders within their industry. So now if we look at the NPO credit program, so AWS does award credits to NPOs to either help you start your cloud journey or contribute to a project that you've got going. And there are two main ways that you can access these credits. So the first is through TechSoup. So TechSoup is it's a platform where NPOs can sign up, and once they become a member, they get access to deals and discounts from a wide range of technology providers. Now, if you are a TechSoup member, or if you'd like to sign up to TechSoup, you can register, and on there you can get $2,000 of AWS credits, and you can actually get those credits every year. So these credits are really great to start proof of concepts, to save on IT cost. You can make informed decisions by analyzing big data. You can equip your volunteers and employees with virtual desktops without having to agree to long-term licenses. And you can widen your global reach and deploy your solutions where they are needed. And you can also manage all of these services within one console. The second way that you can access these credits is through your account manager. So in South Africa, you could reach out to me and we could discuss your project, and I could look at the rights or other credit programs that we could assist you with. So just before I hand over to Kyrilos, I'd like to talk about some of the case studies and the NPOs that we've worked with. So over here, we have International Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And the task there was to identify and locate missing and exploited children at a faster rate. So together with AWS, they created a centralized platform, and they integrated our artificial intelligence and machine learning tools, as well as Amazon Recognition, which is our facial recognition, and use those tools together to search the internet for photos of children and then compare those against open cases. And the result of that is that in a 30-second search, the solution could then provide law enforcement officers and NGO leads with possible whereabouts of missing children. So this has helped the organization to close a number of cases within 24 hours, whereas before it could take weeks or even months to close a case. Then moving on to National Geographic partners. So they wanted to have a digital content catalog of all of their multimedia assets dating all the way back to when they started in the 1800s. And so they used serverless computing, and they implemented a couple of the AWS tools like Amazon Cloud Search, Amazon S3, and Amazon Recognition. And they were able to provide a platform that gives personalized access to 130 years of multi-channel content. They avoided the cost and the time needed to tag hundreds and thousands of images. They were able to meet a tight deadline. And overall, they achieved the speed, the agility, and the innovation that they required for this project. And lastly, Change.org. Change.org is actually the world's largest social change platform, and they have over 130 million users in 196 countries. So as you can imagine, they needed an agile and a scalable web platform. So they started by hosting their website in the Amazon Elastic Compute, our EC2. They used Amazon Redshift, Amazon S3, Elastic Load Balancing, and AWS Data Pipeline. And by using AWS, they were able to achieve the redundancy and the resilience that they needed for their global audience. And that really opened up a whole new world for them in terms of their future growth as an organization. So with that, I want to thank you for your time, and I'm going to hand over to Kyrilos now to take us through the second part of the presentation.
Yeah, hello everyone. Here is Kyrilos, and I'm a solutions architect at AWS. I'm happy to be part of this webinar today, and I will be walking you through some of the workloads that our customers use AWS for. So let's get started. Let's talk about what customers are actually building on AWS. Any customers start simple with a storage-only migration. They look for those workloads that don't really require an application migration, and they start their cloud journey by just moving the data. Backup and restore is usually an easy place to start because it's relatively non-disruptive to existing IT processes, and practically every major backup software vendor integrates directly with Amazon S3. Customers with large data archives for long-term retention or for regulatory compliance are also quickly moving to AWS because they know how unreliable and costly their on-premise tape infrastructure is. By moving that data to AWS, they can save a lot of money and ensure that their data is there when they need it because of the constant data validation that we perform at AWS. Home directories are another storage-only move that can provide significant storage cost saving with minimal disruption to existing processes. And over 10,000 of customers to date have built their data lakes on AWS. They choose AWS storage because they know their data can be saved in AWS, and the data movement is one of the hardest part of building a data lake. By storing their data in AWS, they can bring a variety of analytics tools to the same dataset, eliminating the data movement complexity. By consolidating all of that data in one place, it makes an AWS data lake an excellent foundation for artificial intelligence and machine learning data. And also you can use this in high performance computing environment. Or even you can just run a big data analytics tool. However, one of the most common set of workloads that customers want to bring to AWS is their business critical applications. Things like their WordPress website, critical databases, and the fund management system for the MPOs. So let's dive deeper in each use case. Enterprises often look at migration for backup and restore also, and for archival as well, because they can enjoy the advantages of scalable, durable, low-cost cloud storage with a simple, quick migration. Customers can use AWS Storage Gateway as a virtual tape library, VTL, or as a file storage target for their backup infrastructure. Practically, every enterprise backup or information management software available integrates directly with S3 and S3 Glacier, making the movement of data as simple as flipping the bit in the console to write to S3 as a target instead of their tape. Move, Moving to the cloud enables you to reduce the significant cost in securing, storing, and managing the data in on-premises array. And we have different storage services that help you achieve your goal. Amazon EBS for block storage, Amazon S3 for object storage, Amazon S3 Glacier for archivals, Amazon EFS for file storage. Each service has its own use cases, but let's keep this on high level and move to the next workload. So the next workload is home directories. For Windows Home Directories, you can use Amazon FSx for Windows File Server, or if you have a developer group that leverages a Linux-based home directory, EFS is a great home for their data. You can easily move existing home directory file shares to Amazon FSx using a service called AWS DataSync. So AWS DataSync makes it simple and fast to move large amount of data online between on-premises storage and Amazon S3, Amazon Elastic File System, or Amazon FSx for Windows File Server. And you can move your data 10 times faster using AWS DataSync. I need to mention also that Amazon FSx allows you to access your file system from on-premise via an AWS Direct Connect or AWS VPN connection. Additionally, it allows you to access your file system from multiple Amazon Virtual Private Cloud VPCs, AWS accounts, and AWS regions. Here's how a hybrid cloud solution can be implemented. Many customers want to take advantage of the economies of the cloud, but they have some applications running in on-premises that requires their most active dataset to be cached locally. Customers can use AWS Storage Gateway as a file storage or block storage target for these hybrid cloud workloads, and it's easy for them to store all of their data durably in the cloud while keeping a copy of their active dataset cached on the gateway appliance. Other customers use AWS DataSync to create copies of their on-premise data in the cloud so they can run analytics using data generated on-premises in Amazon S3 Data Lake. We have AWS services that help you connect your on-premises to the cloud securely. As I mentioned, VPN or Direct Connect are some of the options that we have. Other workload that we see a lot of customers adapt very quickly is data lakes. One of the most important and strategic area in your movement to the cloud is to establish a data lake, and Amazon S3 is the storage of choice for this. Customers realize their significant value in moving disparate data that lives in different places and consolidating it in a data lake. So it's easier to run analytics and machine learning. AWS has over 10,000 data lakes being run on top of S3. So S3 is a clear leader. And there are a number of reasons why people consider S3 the best solution for a data lake. First of all, if you look at the operational performance and availability and reliability over the 12 and a half years that S3 has been around, S3 is really unmatched. And if you want to replicate your data between regions, you can just enable that feature on any storage class and then choose any region and any storage class as your target. S3 is also more secure. It's the only storage service that lets you see every API access to every data and event. It's also the only storage service that integrates with a service like Amazon Macy, which uses machine learning to classify your data into different categories and then lets you know if there is any anomalous movement or activity to that data. S3 is also the only storage service that lets you operate at a fine-grained level at the object level. Other storage services force you to operate at the bucket or the account level. S3 automatically looks at all your storage access pattern and then does some analytics for you and suggests which object you should move to a lower cost storage tier. It also gives you more capabilities to query and process data in place without the need to move it to another service. Services like Amazon Athena, Amazon Redshift Spectrum, or features like S3 Select allows analytics enable simpler, more cost-effective storage for large-scale analytics. S3 makes it simpler to get your data in, with more ways to transfer data into S3 than anywhere else. And finally, with S3, you can build your own data lake from the ground up. You can use a service called AWS Data Lake, and you will have a simplified data lake setup including blueprints, a central catalog for fine-grained access control and data discovery, and built-in machine learning-based data cleansing and deduplication. No charge for this service, AWS Lake Formation. You only pay for the underlying resources. And this is why so many people are using S3 as their data lake. AWS provides the broadest and deepest portfolio of databases and analytics services than any other cloud provider. Shown here by the functions they serve, we support you in migrating or moving your data, store it in AWS infrastructure, start exploring the analytics services we have, and finally in visualizing and running machine learning on top of it. AWS offers at least 10 data movement services, 13 analytics services, 18 machine learning and AI services, and 17 security and governance services, and maybe more since this slide was created. And finally, hosting a business critical application, in this example, a highly available, highly scalable WordPress website that can scale to millions of requests per day, is another workload that we see a lot of customers move their solutions to AWS. So consider this as any three-tier web application. What will you need and how to scale it to millions of requests daily? These are the questions that we are receiving from our customers. First, you see here we have Amazon CloudFront, which is our CDN network. It serves for static and dynamic content and as a caching layer for sure. We have an internet gateway, which allows communication between instances in your VPC and the internet. We have NAT gateways in each public subnet, enable Amazon EC2 instance and private subnets to access the internet. We are using an application load balancer to distribute web traffic across an auto-scaling group of Amazon EC2 instances in multiple availability zones. And then you can run your WordPress site or any application using an auto-scaling group of Amazon EC2 instances. And most of the web application or general application will require a database, so you can use RDS, Amazon RDS, and it's a managed service, so you can offload any administration tasks and just focus on your application. If the database access pattern are read heavy, consider using Amazon Elastic Cache. In this case, you see memcached in the architecture in front of the database layer to cache frequently accessed data. And finally, you see also here we have Amazon EFS. And Amazon EFS is a simple, highly available, and scalable network file system so that the EC2 instance can have access to a shared unstructured data. And you can see that we have EFS mount target in each availability zone. This architecture serves millions of users, but maybe you don't need that scale. And here comes the beauty of the cloud. You can always start simple as much as you need. You can just start with a single instance and a database, and then you can scale when your requirement change over time. But I'm showing this architecture to show all the features and services in AWS that can help you to scale when you need your web application to handle millions of requests daily. And here is an example for one of the MPOs based in Switzerland, GivenGain. GivenGain is a global leader in cloud-based activism, and they are known for helping individuals raise money for their favorite causes and helping charities and nonprofits building storage funding models. The challenge they faced was that after 9 years of continuous growth, GivenGain's initial website hosting solution presenting reliability issues, and its web servers and databases were reaching the upper limit of their capacity to sustain the load. The organization needed the ability to increase the capacity in high load situations and reduce it in period of decreased load. As a nonprofit, cost was a crucial consideration, so GivenGain chose Amazon Web Services. They are using Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, EC2, Amazon Relational Database Service, RDS, Elastic Load Balancer, auto-scaling, Amazon Elastic File System, and many other services. And speaking about the benefits, GivenGain achieves 99.99% availability, which increases the satisfaction level of the nonprofits it supports. They lowered the cost by more than 50%, and they achieved 99.99% durability as well. by using the different geographical location and availability zone we have in AWS. That allowed the small team to focus almost 100% on developing the application rather than managing the load or adding capacity to their infrastructure. Another example is global giving. Global Giving is one of the largest global crowdfunding communities connecting nonprofits, donors, and companies in nearly every country in the world. They used to host their application on a co-location, so they were managing their own hardware and they had to buy more than what they need because simply they need to design for the peak. They wanted to reduce cost, so they moved to AWS and they adapted new technologies to better serve their customers. They run 100% of their web traffic on AWS using services including Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, Elasticsearch, Elastic Cache, Amazon Simple Storage Service, and Amazon Aurora. And by using AWS, they have raised more than 295 millions from more than 700,000 people in more than 170 countries. So you can see how they can scale to serve their customers all over the world. Now we're here at the end of this webinar. I would like to thank everyone attended, and please drop your questions on the chat window so that we can answer you. And if anyone is interested in any workload mentioned during the presentation, we will be more than happy to lead a detailed discussion and also provide proof of concepts for whom interested. You can see as well here our contacts. So we will be happy to hear from each one of you about his business challenges and needs, and we will be thrilled to help and engage with you. Thanks, everyone.